Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Martha Wolf Show. I'm joined, Mr. Wolf, and joined by the star of the show. I'm her co-host, by the way. She's not my co-host. And
Oh,
so,
that's cute.
yeah,
Co-host. Yeah, didn't think of it like
you're
that.
the star of the show. It's your story. I just occasionally feature on this thing.
Yeah.
And so,
You do a lot of the background work of this.
yeah, I did.
I would really struggle to do.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I'm
That's
so
okay.
excited. The layout's good. I can see chats. I
Yeah,
can see
good.
whatever this thing is, multiple output box,
Yeah.
all that stuff. We're talking about, oh my goodness. It's funny. What?
I'm waiting for what are we talking about?
The Alexander Dugin, social media crash out. This is
Alexander Dugin.
It's
hey?
funny, but it's actually kind of serious as well. So that's
Yeah,
great. That's the
okay.
middle zone. I love it. We're
I
here
don't
for
know
it.
much about him, but
He's this philosopher that's
Yeah.
apparently close to Putin and stuff. He's always been
Okay.
involved. He's always doing commentary. There's kind of anything about Russia, you always hear his name. He's just a really important influential figure in Russia, which obviously gets involved in a lot of conflicts and things like that.
well,
So we're just gonna go through post by post.
I'm interested to see what this fella's got to say.
Did that just change?
You've got to go.
So I just saw something. Okay. Alexander Dugin.
Well, let's just crack on right into it.
Forgive me if I don't get all
What's
these
to
all in the
say?
right order. That's not the point. We've got a response. So, Alexander Dugin is criticizing Western society in really broad and sweeping terms, and we are just gonna respond to that in a nuanced way because it's really, really, really non-nuanced. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
Alexander Dugin, is there at least one argument why the EU shouldn't be erased from the face of the earth?
Goodness gracious.
Who even talks like this?
Wow.
This is very foreign,
It's
isn't it?
straight out of the bait now. He's got a very, very threatening tone.
He's got
there.
no chill.
Wow. He's angry about something, but let's see what else he says.
Everyone
there.
in the comments are so funny too. I was laughing my head off. Liberal left equals globalists. But then why? I know that obviously he's probably speaking Russian all day, and that's totally not his intent. But I hate this use of the word liberal. It's so frustrating. It's almost like you have to. Everyone is like a teenager has to be explained this. There's the liberals, the party, which are for us the conservative. It's meant to be a more conservative, economically conservative party and so forth. And then there's liberal, but it just means leftist. But what's the point of the word? If it's just describing leftist or LGBTQ or globalists, and why use the word liberal? Or do they mean anti-authoritarian? But they're not. They're leftist authoritarian. So for me, I get. Do you get that too? Do you get ultra confused about that term?
Oh, well, in this country, we don't use the term. It's different in this country. So when you say liberal in this country, people often associate that with the party, who are traditionally
people don't say liberals.
economic conservatives. No.
No one here would say, "Oh, those stupid liberals are protesting
No.
for PETA again." No one would.
Wouldn't
say
make
that.
any sense if you said that here.
No. Maybe that's why it throws me off, but it's just but it's also this idea of the word liberty in that. That kind of almost sounds like liberal to me should be more libertarian, but that's totally not what it is. Libertarian is more like a counter movement in some ways, or kind of an in-between movement between left and right. Anyway. Total LGBT isn't there some letter to perverts? So basically he's saying there's the left and the right in Western society, and one of them are globalists, so they're happy to just have everyone move everywhere, they have no identity and things like that, and then they're also perverted, so they have no proper sense of the family, men and women. I can see what he's saying. It's as sort of more right-leaning people, I think you'd think we would really heavily agree, and I think that's why it's kind of interesting to look at it from our perspective. How do we relate to what he's saying? Because a lot of people accuse sort of people on the right to be just shills for Russia and paid by Russia and things like that. But yeah, the whole liberal thing, I think it's just this Russian perspective does not capture the reality of what's going on. The old left, 60s and 70s kind of left, anti-war, flower power, you know what I'm talking about, our kind of like the boomer parents kind of generation, that's where like liberalism would make sense, or like libertarianism, individualism, that those sort of ideas fit into that. But the modern left that like has more to do with the LGBTQ movement really isn't like that at all. It's very authoritarian, it's very top down, it's very elitist. Right, so that's completely shifted. Like, actually, we have culturally massively shifted just in that sense, and that's just our people, let alone all the immigrants that have come in that have a whole array of different ideologies on top of that, whether they're Chinese or like Middle Eastern Muslims or whatever they are. So we have to shift, and I feel like there's like, this is an old dude, so maybe he's kind of thinking back in the days and kind of criticizing that. So I'm just trying to pick that apart a little bit, trying to understand what he's saying here. Okay, now he's criticizing the right. Now he's talking about the left, now he's talking about the right. The Zionist right equals genocide supporters. Obviously, yes, be like, extremely simplistic here, like. But then he doesn't address. Oh, okay. Then there's still the normal right. That's good. So he's addressing that third group, the new right, or nouvelle droite, and the normal left. What is it? But they are minorities, he says. Yeah, normal left. What is that now? Because the left, because the what you would think of as the center, like in the right wing, you definitely have like center. Like a lot of people we know are just like center right. They just want to live their lives. They have sensible kind of common sense observations about the world. They are economically like, they just want to look after themselves and not have complete socialism, right? Like people like that. A lot of people are what you could legitimately call like center right. They're not like, they don't really care about like ethnicity or race or anything like that or culture too much. They just are sensible and just want to live like a more modern life. So in the right, there are all these different distinctions, all these different groupings. And he kind of sees that and points that out. And he doesn't actually criticize the normal right or the nouvelle droite. But the normal left, he's saying, well, what is it? And that's the problem, because the what's meant to be the sensible center left fails to hold any political power because they're actually so scared of shaking in their pants when it comes to the far left. They're kind of subordinated to them.
You'd probably make the same argument for anyone on the right too. Anyone who doesn't take a particular position that they adhere to, or a popular one for that matter.
Well,
it's not my really job here to sort of take sides, but it's more just to analyze what this guy is trying to say here. It's almost like he's saying you've got this Hegelian dialectic where you've got the liberal left and the Zionist right, but anything in between of that is just such a minority that they don't really wield any sort of particular influence over anything.
Basically, yeah. So I'm just sort of giving like a little bit of fleshing it out a bit, like for anyone who hasn't heard these ideas or thought about much. I'm sort of trying to flesh this out a little bit, but yes, essentially that's what he's saying. He's going, there's these two extremes and they're both really evil. Like he's basically saying that they, I guess, talking from a perspective of Russia or their orthodox beliefs and so forth, because he does make other references to orthodoxy in other posts which we'll look at.
Okay.
He basically said that he wants like European society to be eradicated from the face of the earth. Like, I mean, at least he's being like very straight up and real, and like I can appreciate the intensity in a weird way. Like it's obviously a bit much, but so let's see what else he says. Because it is confusing. It puts you in a weird spot where you're like, yeah, like the LGBTQ left has got massive issues, although the one thing I will say in regards to this post, the one thing, the Zionist right, I don't really have a single word to defend them. His condemnation I share in, but just calling the liberal left, oh, they're just perverts, well, yes, but I think there's a lot of, I don't think perversion is actually the driving factor in a lot of the LGBTQ movement. Maybe with the T's, it is quite a lot, but I think there's more going on. I think there's just more of a like gender confusion, role confusion, sexual marketplace value stuff going on. I mean, a lot of the L's emerge because of the sexual marketplace is just not delivering anything for them. A lot of the G's might emerge also for that reason, maybe slightly less so. There might be a lot of hormonal disruption, a lot of environmental impacts that cause that. I don't necessarily think that just straight up like perverted sex drive is the driving factor really behind the left. I just don't really think that. I think in many ways they're a lot less sexual than the right, which still maintains a more like healthy developmental levels of testosterone and probably more healthy sex drive and things like that. That's my take. I'll open that, but I'm not talking about that right now. Now's the next one. Let's see what he says next.
Share the screen.
The Western, so awkwardly translated. It doesn't even say translated from Russian. Like someone must have translated that pretty poorly. The Western modernity is absolutely wrong in everything demonic.
He keeps making these very vague statements as that really that could be interpreted as pretty much anything.
But I love some of the comments. Actually, we didn't look at the comments on the previous post, but then this guy called Grim says, "You're looking at the facade of a nation through a lens of global media, which has been shown to completely misrepresent the nation as a whole. Americans are good people and Russians are good people. We are not the mask that our captors wear." And so I think some of these comments are really good and really engaging and really enlightening as well, because obviously this guy, Alexander Dugin, is probably watching a lot of this, and he actually references some Western media as well. Like this is how they perceive the West, is through media. So they don't have an accurate and good representation. It's very true. I mean, if you just watched movies, like you get a whole different vibe. I mean, I'm not talking like old, like, you know, like the old original Skippy the Bush Kangaroo or something. Like I'm talking like if you watched like Married at First Sight and that's all you knew about Australia, how would you judge our society? Like, do you see what I mean?
You probably have a pretty poor view of Australia if that's all you had to go off.
Like everyone's just this like 95 IQ bimbo, like absolutely disgusting, and they're like hooking up within 5 minutes of meeting each other. Like it actually is, but like that's entertainment. If you're picking a very particular type of person, putting the camera on them all day and then snipping it into like a few minutes of footage. But it is disturbing. Like imagine it, but it's the thing. You've got to get a little bit out of media. I think it's a good policy. I honestly, this is radical, right? But I think it's a good policy to not engage in a lot of movies. What do you call this? Like, is that reality TV show?
Well, yeah, but unscripted television. It's more the better term for it.
Yeah, but it's heavily edited, and like talk shows that are with people who talk, who have like they have been given lines to say, or they've been pre-selected. Yeah,
things like that.
Like I just think don't engage. Like if you just need to grasp reality, like I don't get how people engage in that stuff. I know it's like it numbs. I guess it numbs all your feelings and how boring your life is, and that you have no purpose and stuff. So you watch that stuff to kind of feel other people's emotions instead. But just if you're gonna get a view on reality, like do not engage in kind of fictional media. You're nuts. At least do it for just get a good grasp on reality, and then occasionally venture into a little bit of fantasy. But I wouldn't, be indulging in it. Otherwise, you end up like this guy. And then it's basically the same post about US. Alexander Dugin says, "Look, is there at least one argument why the US shouldn't be erased from the face of the earth? The Dems are globalists. So Dems equals globalists are utmost perverts." So again, it's the same kind of line of argumentation. Epstein. They always do this Epstein thing, don't they, now? Like, where everyone just throws that word around. But it's clever. I think it's very clever. I'm not against that, like, rhetoric.
Well, I mean, that guy now represents sort of, everything's wrong with those sorts of crimes. He's now held up, I guess, as the poster boy for criminality.
Like his name is becoming like synonymous with things you wouldn't even want to say.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just complete like abusive, child trafficking, demonic.
Everything that's wrong.
Like insane. Like it stands for a lot of things, even things that like I couldn't say here on podcast. GOP equals idiots, and then in brackets also Epstein. I mean, this is clever rhetoric because you can't really it's so hinted at, but we all know what he's saying. Basically, both sides of politics are like that. Trump and Zionists of all kinds equals maniacs, pedophiles, and brackets. He sounds drunk, honestly. Is there some other argument? If not, you are doomed. What do you think of that? Do you find it shocking?
No, it's pretty bad argumentation. It's almost saying, well, yeah, you're in one of these camps, and that, or if you don't fall into these extremes, well, yeah, you're all doomed. I don't think so, Alexander Dugin. I think it's a very oversimplistic way of looking at the world.
And obviously there are, I guess you could say there are just people who live, their normal lives and, are just farmers or
It's things like this that I
whatever.
can see why people become apolitical. Because yeah, they just don't want to deal, with being placed in camps. Oh, you must be this, or you must be an Epstein guy, or you must be this other guy. You're represented by these individuals and these guys now in politics,
Yeah.
which that's not how I would see a political lens.
I can see where he's coming. Once again, I can sort of see where he's coming from. You get to a certain point of corruption, like it's just absolute, like grotesque corruption, and so many of those people are on these lists, like doing this kind of stuff, or they know and they don't say anything. Like even, I mean, Trump obviously did do stuff and was involved, but then even apart from that, he knew about a lot of this stuff. Like you know what I mean? Like
Supposedly.
it's even if you don't do anything, you know about it, and like it's just this sort of living with it, and it's very disturbing. But yeah, just one of the top guys of Russia calling for the eradication of US. I mean, this is pretty intense. That's why I'm sort of talking about it. It's just
Well, maybe he calls for it in a figurative sense, maybe not a literal sense of the term.
pretty intense. I think there's only two more. To be on the side of Russia, of Iran, of China, of multipolarity is to be on the side of the being against the non-being. See, this is starting to become, it sounds like spiritual, like orthodox stuff, probably. I'm not quite getting that. The postmodern West is a citadel of non-being, of nihilism. And then someone, people are calling him like Gandalf. The comments are great. Ooh. It's actually really funny, but yeah. What do you think about that? Like, is there just so much nihilism in the West? I think there's a lot of nihilism in the
Oh,
West.
there's probably nihilism in a lot of these other countries.
But then, yeah, what about Russia? It's like they have higher abortion rate and divorce rate than the US for sure.
What about China?
Oh, yeah, like, oh yeah, for sure. That's the thing. Like, come on. You shouldn't be throwing the first stone here.
No.
That's a bit far-fetched when your country has the kind of stats it has, where like every second dude is just a complete alcoholic and all that stuff. As it goes on, it's crazy. Like just
Keeps
the
going.
language you use. This is the last one, I think. You are not the people, sir. Alexander. You are stupid slaves on the Epstein's menu of cruel cannibal elites. You are eating your brains off. This is intense, right? It's almost like
Even his grammar's kind of off.
very off.
I wonder if he's actually just got a social media team that posts this and it's loosely based on what he says.
Maybe use like a Russian AI to translate it.
Yeah, maybe, because it doesn't really come across as coherent English,
No.
if you ask me.
It's funny in itself as well. It's like, wow, when you say things, you think you're really profound. It sounds kind of silly in English. It's why you watch Euphoria. I'm not actually sure what Euphoria is. It's something gay? Is it a gay movie or something?
I've got no idea what that reference is.
That's cute. See, this is what I'm saying. He's going and watching like degenerate media that we wouldn't even watch. Like, if you want to live, this is what Alexander Dugin doesn't get. You don't just take the slop and the filth of society and bathe yourself in it, like put it into your eyeballs and be like, oh, it's so bad. Oh, I hate it. I'm crashing out. You need to like be in the slum, like be in the dirt, just live in the filth, in the sewer, but find a way to protect yourself from it. You can almost kind of bubble. It's like a form of autism, you know, you kind of just bubble yourself. Like, yeah, I only consume this really particular media. So I never hear, we both don't know what Euphoria is, but I think it's a gay movie. Like, that's what I believe. It's something like that.
Maybe.
But see, we live, like, he thinks we're in the cesspit of that, but yet we're more protected than he is from it, you know? And I think that's how a lot of people live. They just, you got to have your blinders on, keep going, you just survive it. You just can't be like bathing in this stuff. He says, because all of you are perverts discussing civilization, no reason to accept, please die.
Please, Commodore. A bit tasteless.
Gosh. That is so funny. And then Drew Pavlu said, how many more Russian ethnic minorities are you feeding into the Donbass wood chipper this week? Rita? Oh my gosh, laugh. These comments are gold. And Arizona Ranger One says, lol, remember that time Putin and G got caught for micing out organ harvesting?
Hot miking.
Sorry. To me, that says micing. Hot miking about Augustine harvesting poor people. It's like, yeah, like, shit, this is, like, pretty bad.
Yeah, as if they're just as immoral as any other Western leader if you're talking about the harvesting of organs.
I'm not saying every society is equally moral. I think that's silly.
No, I'm not suggesting
There's definitely massive problems in our society.
Of course there is, but
we have subcultures still.
He's just implying that it's just the West who's, immoral and degenerate, but very clearly, like, their leaders, if they're talking about that kind of stuff, he's got to have some sort of criticism for his own group first.
It's always when they do wrong, like when the Russian women getting abortions all the time, they have like very high levels of abortions, like, oh, we don't see that. See, it's just that mental bias, but yet in the West, when women march around going, yeah, we have a right for abortion, they've never had an abortion in their life probably, and they're like, believe, like, for some reason they walk around and march around and holding signs up. Oh, we're so degenerate. Like, your middle class white girls on a uni campus are probably not having a whole lot of abortions. I'm just saying, but they are actually doing it. Like, is it just sort of the way you present yourself to society? At least you put up a nice front, you wear your nice clothes, and you drink and you do everything in a nice way. I can appreciate the Slavs. Like, why can I appreciate the Slavs and the Slavs can appreciate me? I just think, be a little bit open-minded. Would you want everyone to be Slav? I mean, just have some appreciation for some crazy, funky, out there, liberal people, I guess. So, moving on though. Any other... It's just stuff I know you're gonna laugh. Any other comments on the whole Dugin thing?
I found it very disappointing.
It is, isn't it?
I just can't take those posts, as serious political analysis. It just sounds like he's on some wonderful substance and he's just decided to vent his frustrations without really thinking about what he's saying.
We all know it's vodka. Like, sorry, there's just, see, because
I'm not against Alexander Dugin. It's just that for someone sort of his, now this is not a comment on whether I support the guy, I like the guy, it's irrelevant, but I just would have thought that someone of his notoriety would actually be taking a little bit more time to say something a bit more coherent than what the sloppy's just...
He's crashing out!
Media completely. I know. It's not respectable what he's saying at all.
Maybe he'll delete them all, like, in the morning, like, whenever there's morning in Russia. Besides, how can I, in good conscience, accept my secret Russian funding to do this show now that I've read all this? Like, they want me dead, and yet here I am, doing their bidding, obviously, right? Jokes. We're joking. Cremieux says, I think a sizable part of the decline of school shooting... I didn't know there was a decline in school shooting, did you know? Oh, sorry. Similar to a big part of why serial killing declined. It's just not cool anymore. The cool type of killing these days might be assassination. Cool, I didn't know. Did you know the trends of killing have changed?
No, I didn't know either.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, we're so uncool. We spend so much time just like changing nappies. There's just shit flying everywhere. Like we're not even on top of the what's really important in life.
No, clearly not.
The 1980s were peak serial killer. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay.
I'm not sure what the number here means. Like 700 serial killers. Oh, serial killers in the United States based on decade of first victim. Because some of them kill people for like a long time. And then I was like, wait a second. And this is, so serial killing. Everyone now is like, oh, if you're a serial killer, you're like a homosexual with a really large freezer. Like you probably have a really bad haircut, like an outdated mustache, right? Like it's not cool. Do you think serial killers are cool?
No, absolutely not.
Stop being so predictable. Then I was thinking like, serial killers are an expression of white culture, right?
Why do you say that?
Because I'm pretty sure most serial killers are white. They're almost always white men, are they not?
A couple of notable ones come to mind. The famous ones, and I think they're probably of, Caucasian appearance.
There was one Australian, I think it was Middle Eastern guy, or like he was half.
No, he was a Slavic guy.
Slavic. Okay, so white adjacent. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, look, obviously the graph starts really low and it goes up, but also like world population has gone up a lot, and like so it's hard to sort of say. But I was thinking maybe the decline in serial killing is sort of tracking the decline of Western civilization in a way, or like white culture. I don't know.
I've got a couple of theories on why it might be declining. I mean, you look at the 80s, you didn't have things like CCTV. You didn't have things like advanced forensics like you do now.
Oh yeah.
Catching criminals now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I imagine would be a lot easier than it was 40 years ago.
With serious crimes, I think, yeah. I think with the burglaries and stuff, people don't get caught.
But now it's very... I mean, I'm not saying this from experience, this is just my thoughts, but it seems to me it's very hard to be a criminal and get away with it. Just because everything can catch you, you've got like surveillance, your phones, everything everyone knows where you are at any given time.
You see some of these crime docos, not that I watch a whole lot of that, but it's like, they always have their phone tracked. Like, the phone, and there's like a map and it tracks exactly where they're driving. It's like, even if you turn your phone off, they can still track. It's very difficult. You'd have to really think, like, if you were going to kill someone, even just one time, let alone multiple people, you'd have to think about, like, how do you not have any device on you? Some cars have things that are tracked, like...
Yeah, well, I mean, you have Android, like, all these cars, you log into the dash, and it's powered by, like, an Android operating system, so you log in, yeah. So you got to log with your Gmail account, and then if you don't turn the location services off, you might be able to track where you're going.
Like a modern car?
Oh, yeah, really? Modern cars have like these little head units. You log into them, they're Android-based.
That's terrible. Oh, no, I'm never doing that. Never, ever.
You won't be driving a modern car then.
Like, you can track me. You can put, like, a tracker on my car that tells you where I am. That's fine. That's scary. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think you just have to... There's so many steps to it, like what you're saying, like the DNA trace. That's really hard to avoid. There's always going to be, like, ripped out hair or... blood or, God forbid, other fluids, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's just interesting. And there's a whole lot more data to it that I just get a headache again looking at. Can't get too into that. Not that interested, but anyway. I thought you might enjoy it. Why is there Scottish music in this? I'm just going to turn this music off. It's not appropriate. Scottish music. Here's a guy getting free personal trainer sessions. Such a dodgy looking guy.
He's an intelligent guy. He's hacking the system.
Like, to him, that's actually like a massive revelation. He's like, I can just watch this guy have a personal trainer. What is a personal trainer even doing?
Stand within earshot and look at what they're doing. You don't have to pay for it at all. You can do the same thing.
Isn't that cute? See, that's smart.
I once knew a bloke who used to play golf, and then he was playing golf once, and there was a fellow teaching these people about their golf swings. Anyway,
Oh.
he was just listening in. He got some good tips about how to actually do a proper golf swing. He's like, oh, okay, that saved me, potentially $100 of personal trainer fees.
Yeah.
That was
It's
something.
like you taught me to play golf, and then I never played it again.
Yeah.
That was cute though.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, like if I ever played it, I guess. Could really get me out of some sticky situations if I ever end up at a golf game for some reason. People with dark personality traits are more attracted to members of the opposite sex who resemble themselves. Really, really unsurprising if you know any data about that stuff. Not necessarily. Sometimes I just want to chat a little bit and then share it later. The dark side of mate choice. Homogamy. I was like, what is homogamy? But it's like when you prefer a mate who is similar to you. That's it.
Right.
Drives attraction to dark triad, but desirability of antisocial traits and criminal behavior is not enhanced by fame, wealth, or looks. So it's kind of like, it's not as extreme as it sounds. And then it says, which I can't zoom in. Yeah, basically that. And then just a little bit more in detail about desirability. So this is women reported their own dark triad traits like Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy, sensation seeking, and impulsivity, and rated the attractiveness of hypothetical partners described in fictitious vignettes, which is a short story, in 1 of 6 conditions: prosocial traits, dark triads traits without crime, dark triads traits with crime. And basically at the end of the day, it says, basically if you show criminal behavior and stuff like that, it is selected against, generally speaking. And people have, so especially, this suggests that while in general individuals may be drawn to high status or attractive partners, antisocial traits, especially when combined with criminal behavior, act as deal breakers and mate preferences for both short-term and long-term relationships. So for the most part, that is the case. But yeah, I find it's always, whenever you have someone who's like, oh, I dated a narcissist, or oh, there's sort of stories where you hear this like, oh, I escaped a marriage and he was a psychopath and stuff like that. It's like quite likely that the person telling the story, it's not that they're necessarily lying or whatever, but they also have those traits. So it makes everything convoluted. You're not gonna get like your average normie marrying someone with really unusual traits. You usually get people kind of cluster, and that, which of course this doesn't address at all, this is just me adding this. What this also explains is why you get people who are so intensely, we're just talking about serial killers then, so intensely psychopathic, narcissistic, or whatever, or Machiavellian, or any combination of those things. Like some people are so extreme, you think, how did you even evolve? Like you're like 3 years old and you're like torturing a cat to death. Like you are just a dysfunctional human being altogether. Like, aren't we farmers? Like, didn't we evolve as farmers? Like, how's this? But it's because people cluster when they reproduce. And so some of their children are going to get that double dose of those genetics, to the point where they're no longer really functional members of society, or like they need to be locked up basically, or they need to be, executed or something like that. Just to be brutal about it. But I think it's good to have self-awareness of these sort of traits. But it's such a strong drive, and attraction is such a strong thing. It's very difficult to say to someone, hey, like, you're a female, you have some dark triad traits, you probably should pick a spouse who doesn't really have them just so your children will be normal. It's like very hard sell. I think it's going to be a very hard sell for people. Don't you think?
I think so.
More Russia stuff. I've had enough of the Russia stuff. I don't want to talk about anymore. It's too much, isn't it? It's very intense and very negative. And then women were asked the minimum height they would date. I want to get your reaction to this. What do you think of this? So,
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". We can't be eye level. I feel like I'm 5'7" in my head.
That's all right.
And I love the little measuring tape thing, because I'm metric system raised. Were you metric system raised? No, you were raised with this, right?
No, I was raised metric, but for some reason, in the West, we always measure height in feet, not
I
centimeters.
think it's Australia. I don't know if it's everywhere, but obviously that's US, right? And that is.
Imperial.
It's just sort of stuck. It's like a traditional thing, I guess. But for me, it's always thrown me off. If you say to me, I'm 5 foot, I'm like, I don't have a picture in my mind. I have no reference in my mind. I know it's short, but I know 6 foot tall. Like, that's all I really know. I don't really have a good reference, but yeah, this like measures it. So she's obviously, would you say she's a pretty short sort of girl?
Well, she's just above 5 foot. That's decent.
normal.
Oh, I mean, are men on average taller than women?
Yes.
Okay.
6 foot is like the whole ideal height for a man, where people kind of idealize it. I think the men cluster like right around the upper parts of 5 feet, at least talking about white men. But anyway, we'll see what she says.
5'3",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". We can't be eye level. I feel like I'm 5'7" in my head.
See, that's still, if you look, see, I find that so cool because that measure actually shows you that's the guy, that's how tall she wants a guy to be. That's like most of his face completely above. Do you know what
It's
I mean?
at least a head taller than her.
That's actually taller than like her male relatives probably would be, I imagine.
Maybe.
Like would she even produce a son who's that tall? So for me, it's always like, I'm a bit like that much taller, yes, fair, okay, but like that much taller, like it's not realistic. You're not bringing the same genetics to the table here, and that's what I kind of worry about.
I feel like I'm 5'7" in my head.
How tall are you?
5'5",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'2". I can't do nothing with no little boy.
How tall are you?
So that's the same. She wants like a full head on top of her head, basically.
Well,
Like
six-
that's
yeah.
massive.
Well, 6'2" would be
That's a
maybe a
huge
little bit
guy.
more than just a head taller than her.
You could see it in the picture, like, because they draw it in. I thought that was really fascinating because I can never understand it when people say it. That's like a full.
Maybe just a bit more, because like where you're looking at this angle, you can get like parallax error. You sort of would have to be eye level with her on that chart.
I don't think so.
Assuming
Look,
that
you can
chart
see
is
it.
even accurate.
You can see it. It's like a full.
Yeah.
He'd be like chin on her. This thing. Here's the thing. A guy that tall, who's like normal, just a completely normal guy that tall, would have like a huge choice in women. And she's not very attractive. Like the chance of her getting a guy that tall is very unlikely. I can see why men get annoyed with this sort of thing. So I thought I'd talk about that a little bit because that's very common, like contention between men and women, this whole height thing.
Boy.
How tall are you?
5'4",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
She's so
6
short.
foot. You gotta be taller than me. I'm a little bit tall. Like, I don't know.
How tall are you?
5'5",
What's the minimum height you would date?
6'4", just because like they meet the door frame.
How tall are you?
5'5",
What's the minimum height you would date?
6'1". I need to have heels on
It's
and
all
feel
the same.
feminine around my
All
man.
How tall are you?
4'11",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. Cause I like the height difference.
How tall are you?
5'5",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'3". Just because.
How tall are you?
5'6",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'11". That's just the right amount.
How tall are you?
5'5",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
4 foot. I don't think
They're all sort of congregated around the 5'5".
Yeah, so
Average.
the women's bell curve for most features, including height, is like pretty steep. So most of them cluster in the middle. So there's this sort of just convergence that they're all that sort of height. I'd probably be, I'm not even sure what I am in feet, but I'd probably be towards the top of that. But yeah, I love how she says really short, like she dated really short. I think that's kind of cute, but yeah, just the audacity that they all want this ultra tall guys. What do you think of
It
that?
seems to be a preference.
Is
But
that-
even before I watched this video, I always knew it seems to be that height is an attractive feature.
Yeah. And I get that.
But
It's just
why? But why? I never understood why though. Because you can still be a successful person. You can still do everything. Or someone could argue being short has its benefits. You can crawl into
It
certain
does.
spaces and be a bit more
Yes.
mobile with them.
a man who can
Mate-
crawl away.
Maybe better at hide and seek. There are certain benefits to being short as well. But then I never understood why the attraction to height.
So, if you're tall, so obviously men will differ more in height. They're more extreme. They distribute more broadly. There'll just be more extremes. And I guess height, it could be an indication of that you have undergone like male development as a fetus. So that could be the first thing. So just that you've had a healthy hormonal development that's actually, because obviously girls don't grow as tall as their brothers, right?
Yeah, but
Something in the womb
but
changes your
You could still
trajectory.
be a shorter guy and still be healthy.
Yes, but it could. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And like most people in the world, especially if you have bad nutrition, like if you're in Asia and you're eating rice-based meals every day, you're just going to be short. You're just not being able to grow. You won't be able to grow your body very high. But this is probably the biggest thing. I was going to say, like, the hormonal thing could be one small factor, but I think the main factor is it indicates nurture from your family. It indicates that your parents nurtured you, and so you have the genes to also nurture your children. You were looked after and you were pushed to your genetic maximum of height. Why on earth would you want someone who your mother basically didn't look after you properly? Because a lot of height comes out of that early development. Obviously, teenage years is when you grow a lot too, but the early years as well. Why would you want someone where your mother stunted you when you were a young child and didn't look after you properly, and so you never achieved your full potential for height? I mean, it is an indication that you have neglectful or problematic or like abusive genetics, like genetics that might make you inclined for that sort of behavior.
Interesting.
So I think nutrition is the biggest factor in height. Absolutely. Like maybe even more than genetics, because the Chinese are getting tall, you guys. The Chinese, especially Chinese girls, they are getting tall. It's crazy.
It matters as long as they're like cute and nice.
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'2" and up. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. She's actually pretty. Maybe she can pull it off. I don't know. Like, that's nuts. But yeah, it's always interesting, and I like sort of it. I feel like that conversation was not had openly when we were younger. It wasn't like that. It wasn't so overt. And we didn't have like dating apps and stuff like that. It wasn't. People just weren't so like, this is what. No, it wasn't like that. It was much more chill and personal, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was perfect, but it wasn't like this. We got. This is cool.
No.
So this guy installed a child safety net in a high-rise building. He's like, yeah, see, it's really safe. At first I thought he was gonna fall.
Oh my god.
Think about like the autistic meltdowns you would have in that thing. It's right.
He says someone who's extremely afraid of heights. What's underneath him there? I can't see what's underneath it.
The net must like attach down. He must have really,
Look how
really
far he's
attached
up.
it. Yeah, that's like 10 stories.
That would scare the life out of me. Even just going near that balcony, let alone going over it like that. That would scare me.
I love that. And he's so confident. I love that.
Wow.
This is real, like, no bullshit. Like, this is not a government-run company, you can tell, right? Like, it's not just a, like, spray painted on net. It's actually a net that works. That's cool. I want, like, 5 of them all around our house. Like, there's so many places we could put a net, like... Not that we live in a high-rise, but... Then there's... This, like... I don't know, is it, like, a comedy show? Like, an Australian comedy...
What do you got?
YouTube? I don't know. I thought it was funny, but I thought you might comment on that. Sorry, the sound is constantly...
Ebos, what do you got for lunch? We'll trade something. Our mum packed us lunch today, bro. Nothing special, cuz. What do you got? Oh, what do you want? We got heaps of stuff. We got Buddy Smith.
So they do these skits where it's like Aussies versus, I'm pretty sure, Lebanese.
Alright.
Which you would know all about.
Shit. Got a lettuce.
Got a bloody Vegemite sandwich.
You guys want the lettuce? Yeah. Trade the lettuce. It's up for grabs. Wait, why would we trade you? That's not even a meal. You guys got heaps of shit. Just give us some of that Lebo food. Come on. Boys, this is nothing.
Got the whole table full of it.
Laugh. Wow, that's but then it's like, it's funny, like, and I love that, like, and that's legit really, really funny. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, the way that you're rubbishing like white people food, basically, that's what it is, right? It's saying like, well,
It's
you
not-
Anglo kids have shit lunches.
That's what it's trying to say. Because no one just takes your head of lettuce to school.
But
No.
then it's all just that's all just flatbread
It's all
and
carbs.
skewers.
Oh, it looks like there's a plates full of what appears to be kind of veggies there or some olives and things like that.
And I get that as a joke, and I totally get it. But at the
I
same
get the
time, it's
joke,
like, you have to just multiply. Like, there's just so much flatbread. Like, oh, see, we have so much food. Like, Middle Eastern food is not the best food. I'm sorry. I get the joke, but like it's not. Like, I was just like, I'm sure
It's
you
funny.
could.
It's funny though.
You could turn it around and be like, oh, you have like a flatbread wrap. Oh, I have like, and then do like a full baked like Sunday
Yeah.
roast with all the things and the mint sauce, and like you could flip it around. It's just this sort of normalized humor, isn't it? This is fascinating. Okay, so it's talking about schooling and how they teach kids maths, and you know how the way they teach maths always changing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, we write like on top of each other. No, we write next to each other. No, we do this. No, we do that. Oh, we draw dots and then we cross out the dots and this sort of stuff. And this guy's criticizing it. So here's the thing. Write a way to make a 10 to solve 8 plus 9. And that sort of in itself makes sense. But then you look at the dots and it's like, wait, what?
I'm just trying to figure this out. So even the question is a bit difficult to understand.
The question makes sense because you can get you can always go up to the 10 and then
okay.
shuffle it around so like one number becomes 10, like instead of 8, like move 2 of the 9 to the 8 to
So
it
make
10,
it make
and
a
then,
rounded number, then add a 1 to the 8 or something like that to make.
like, so you would take 2 of the 9 and put it over here, so now you have 10 plus 7, which is obviously 17.
Okay.
But what the heck are these dots? Like,
Oh,
what?
couldn't you make that 9 a 10 as well?
Yeah, and then that would be 7 plus
That
10.
yeah, that's right. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, totally, 100%. This makes sense, but what are these dots? Like, 10 and then what? 10 and 7, okay. But on the other side, see how that doesn't make sense? And then the parent is like, I don't even know what this is asking him to do, Dad. And it's just, this is sad. And then someone commented, such a smart comment, and it was like, 130 IQ pedagogy researchers examining how 145 IQ mathematicians add numbers, so 115 IQ educated professors can take what they learn and teach 105 IQ teachers how to teach it to a 100 IQ student. And to be quite honest, if that's a younger child, that's going to be like an 80 IQ student, you know, then they haven't reached their IQ potential, as mandated by a 95 IQ education bureaucrat. And I think this is the key to what's going on with education all the time. They're like, oh, we got to look at like the really smart people. They've figured it out. It's like, yeah, but it takes them no effort. They just do it intuitively. Do you know what I mean? You can't teach someone with a kid who's got an IQ in the 90s, which would be completely normal for a 9 or 10-year-old kid, to think like someone with 145 IQ. It's just not. You're going to have to probably use different methods to calculate something, to do something.
Makes you wonder, you know, these education departments, they're just so out of touch with the methods of how they teach. Like, without even going into IQ, but yeah,
But they're trying to,
looking at people in these bureaucratic who sit in these offices and concoct this and say, oh yeah, this has got to be taught and this is going to be somehow, you know,
you can see where they're coming
help
from.
people understand.
If you believe that some people achieve highly because they're highly educated, it makes sense, because they're going to go to the really smart person, what they consider to be a highly educated person, and go, well, how would you teach it then? How would you explain what you're doing in your head because you're brilliant? But what they're doing is going to be so completely different. Like the way someone who's very intelligent thinks and the way someone who's stupid thinks is completely different. You have completely different hardware and ability to compute. And here it goes on further, and I thought it was really interesting. If you're naturally smart, turning 8 plus 9 into 10 plus 7 comes naturally, which we just did earlier. And this chunking makes more difficult maths, like turning 77 plus 88 into 100 plus 65. See, that to me is not intuitive anymore. I have to think about that for a bit.
It's easier with single digits.
Yeah, because but like 77 plus 88, okay. Or 170 minus 5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see how that makes sense. Simpler. If you're not, chunking adds a confusing second step to addition And you'll never be able to chunk 77 and 88 anyway, pretty much. So they're teaching it like, oh, we'll teach you in the single digits so then you can apply it later on, but they'll never be able to apply it.
Right.
And you can see that, like, you can sort of see how you put someone with below 100 IQ in front of this, 77 plus 88, and they're just going to have to brute count it, basically. They're going to go put the 10s together, and then put all the 1s together. And that's okay. You know what? That's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Everyone will figure out their own method of figuring out equations.
Most of some people, it's just going to be like, they move the numbers around, bam, now it's really quick to add, you know? Yeah, but this kind of complication is counterproductive because any child smart enough to benefit from it will naturally figure out a system of his own and then be punished for not showing his work. And it makes simple maths far more complicated than necessary for the less intelligent. I found with maths, and I struggled with aspects of it, and I was quite good at other aspects of it. But if I just found the solution in my head, I'd be like, okay, thinking about it. And then I'd write down maybe the last step or something. Like, yeah, but there's like 3 steps that you didn't write down. Or like there's other steps that you left out. I was like, but yeah, I just didn't in my head. And so and I always got in trouble, and I never got full marks. Even if I got the right answer, I didn't get full marks for it. It was really frustrating. I think it just made me really give up on school maths. I thought that was really, really insightful.
I'm going to take off the room.
Okay, sweet.
Pleasure.
See you
See you next time. Yep.
Nice. Olympian Eileen Gu's Met Gala dress features 50,000 glass bubbles and took 2,550 hours to make. I can't even fathom that. And it blows actual bubbles. That's so cute. We've got to get girly sometimes, you guys. That is legitimately really creative and cool. And isn't she that designer baby that like a Chinese billionaire got like a white egg and then put his sperm and then had like a just designer baby, and it's her? Isn't she the one? I'm pretty sure she's the one. So of course she's just absolutely fabulous. And there was a bunch of other really, really cool dresses actually. What else have we got? More Birth says, what is the long-run effect of divorce on birth rates? A study published in March 2026 found that those whose parents divorced have significantly fewer children themselves. It's always something I've suspected from just knowing people. You're like, yeah, you have divorced parents. Like, there's a lot of kids, a lot of children, like in my generation from school and so forth, that had divorced parents, and they were beautiful, charismatic, and smart a lot of the time. Not always, but sometimes smart. But the idea of forming a relationship and just being really steady and stable and that leading to children, that was not in their path. And you could sort of tell. You could just sort of tell by being around them. It was always drama and aggressive texting and this and that and, oh, there's someone, but I can't tell you about this person, and just very unstable relationship dynamics, or just straight up hookups and sex, like mostly sex-based relationships as well, like kind of depending on the person. Because of this, even divorces that happened long ago continue to drag fertility down today. So it's fascinating. So you could say, you know, another reason to be anti-divorce is because it's going to reduce. I guess it's what perspective. Do you want your children to have high fertility? Maybe don't get divorced if you can somehow avoid it. If you don't want your society to have low fertility, maybe discourage divorce in some way, shape, or form. Like I'm pretty sure in China they do that. Yeah, in China, I'm pretty sure, aren't they doing that? They're taking steps towards it. They don't want people to divorce. Adult children from divorced families have lower completed fertility and more frequently remain childless than adult from continuous married families. It's really not surprising, is it? It's just good to sort of see that in data and not say stuff where you're like, oh, I'm not even sure that's statistically backed up. Number of children. So, women with continuously married families. Number of children, 1.75. That's pretty pathetic. That's pathetic. From divorced families, it's 1.61. So it's really, it kind of makes you wonder what like demographics they looked at and which country and stuff like that. It probably would differ quite a bit. Continuously married, men from continuously married families Complete fertility 1.49. Once again, pretty shocking. And from divorced families 1.25. Yeah. So basically, we always knew that people with divorced parents are more likely to get divorced themselves. Yeah. But even men, yeah, no. Even the boys from divorced families, also both, doesn't matter if you have daughters or sons, they're going to have lower fertility on average if you get divorced. Now, what's going on with this sheep with a hantavirus outbreak? Cruise ship passenger sobs about being stuck on cruise ship where 3 have died in hantavirus outbreak, and there might be more by now because the story might be a day old or something. Let's have a look.
And that's, I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondias, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines.
I feel bad for saying this, but keeping it real, I'm trying to have empathy, but very effeminate men, like laughing and having fun, maybe, very effeminate men sobbing, it just brings out like a rage. It says like a rage inside me. And I think that's just every woman. I think that's completely nice what I'm saying. I'm not even ashamed. Whatever, I don't care. It's just, this is infuriating. What is going on? What is happening? You're not even trying to mask that you're a highly, highly effeminate guy. Come on. I can put on like a bit more feminine demeanor. Like, come on. What are we doing?
We're people with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
And I think there's no point in watching more because it doesn't say anything of substance. It sucks, you know, it sucks as a woman. It sucks as a woman to see, I have to be honest, I have to say bad things about highly, highly effeminate men. Unless you're doing fashion design or cool artworks, you get a pass. But at least there's an aggression and a drive in that, you know. It sucks because it's like, I almost feel like I'm dragging my own gender through the mud here. Because it's like saying, oh, if you're a man and you're more like a woman, you're much, much, much worse. And then it's like, oh, now I have cognitive dissonance because I'm a woman and I love women. Like, I hang out with women. It's great. They're wonderful and they're so important in society. Like, they're the backbone of society. But, like, is this guy like that? I guess what it is, it's like, do you just have the worst parts of being a woman and none of the good parts? Like, women, yes, we can, like, they can be sort of talk without a lot of information. This is what he's doing. He's just communicating sentiments with no information, which is really boring. But we can also, you know, we are sort of almost designed to be talking to toddlers and like be dealing with big emotions and things like that, and you almost have to dumb down your speech. It's actually quite difficult, and it's part of the reason I really enjoy streaming is because I can just speak without this filter of, okay, I'm talking to a child under the age of 5. They're not going to know this word. Is there a different word for that? And so I can see how being not information dense and not using big words is really helpful in communicating to younger children. And I think that for the most part in society, women are like the communication from the adult world to the child. It's really important. It's a beautiful thing. But is an effeminate man doing that? Maybe, maybe not. Is an effeminate man bearing life? Or is he just lazing around being skinny fat? Because a girl might be skinny fat, but it's like, if you're lazing around, you've got morning sickness, you're actually still creating life. You see, like, there's a difference here. They're just not, it's just a woman without any of the good parts of it, with any of the beautiful parts of it. And that's a shame. That's such a huge shame. That's like being a hypermasculine woman, but only like beating and raping people. Like only the bad parts, like the random aggression and over emotionality of men, with none of the, providing and protecting stuff. Do not recommend. Like, there's just we have a problem in our society because that dude is not that unusual. This is becoming more and more normal, and that's a massive problem. We need to address it. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. And it starts, it starts before conception. That dude needs help. Not yesterday, not 3 years ago, not before he got bullied in 3rd grade. He needed help before conception. We're talking about good nutrition, like things like, when you read things like cholesterol is the precursor for a lot of hormones, like testosterone, you start thinking, what the heck is a low cholesterol diet gonna do? You're eating fruit and vegetables and like low fat milk and like low fat yogurt, and then you're gestating a baby on that. What's it gonna do? I'm not saying I know, I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if it leads to hormonal malformations. As far as I'll go with those comments. There is a Malian refugee says, there isn't a single good argument against eating with your hands, except the humble diarrheal disease death rate map. Now that, I'm going to say it again. The diarrheal disease death rate map. I didn't know this existed. This is great. This is a great addition to my life. I'm happy this came into my life. This is it. Diarrheal disease death rate 2021. And then on the top is if people use hands to eat, use chopsticks, or use fork and spoon. And I'm going to hand it to the East Asians. Like on many topics, chopsticks has the lowest rate of dying of diarrhea. But I don't think it's the chopsticks. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think your forks and spoons are contaminated really ever. Very rarely ever. I think it's the way East Asians prepare food very carefully, and they wash their food. There's a different culture around food preparation, which I highly recommend, and I actually adopt it, and I use it. Like, I use a lot of East Asian cooking methods with cooking any food. It doesn't matter what flavoring, what spices, or what I put with it, or if it's a barbecue, or if it's an actual Chinese stir fry or whatever I'm doing. Wash your food, wash your vegetables. And the Chinese also have a lot of beliefs around like hot and cold. Like, they wouldn't just eat like a lot of salads. They will eat, I don't fully understand it. They will eat something cold, but it has to be with something hot. Like, they will drink hot water as well. They'll be like, oh, hot water. And then they'll have like, when they're sick, they'll have like this rice soup. It's just boiled rice, but like very thin, like in a lot of water. And they have a beautiful culture around food. And obviously, as this map shows you, it's like extremely cleanly and very safe. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But if you eat with your hands, if that's your culture, pretty much correlated with dying of diarrhea. Do not recommend. Unless it's like chicken drumsticks, I guess. But you're not really, I don't know. I also, once again, what are you actually doing with your hands outside of eating? I mean, that's also the whole, you start getting into hygiene topics and you hear some pretty horrific things about what people do and don't do with their hands. Insane. Police airlift a crocodile with the body of 59-year-old businessman inside. I just can't. I can't keep a straight face. This crocodile, I thought this thing was alive. It's like shaking in the wind. They say it's dead, but it looks, okay, it's dead. It's not thrashing, it's dead, okay, whatever, but they're airlifting this thing out because he's in there. Well, at some point you got to accept, like, he's not alive, okay? He's not alive. You've already killed this thing. You've tied it up. You've put the helicopter over it. Like, he's not going to be alive. Can we just leave it? Can we just respect nature? Is this what he wanted? Is this in his will? If I ever get eaten by a crocodile, please kill the crocodile. The crocodile's died for no reason. It's really done nothing wrong. It's just, you know, being a crocodile. But that's insane. I guess they're going to recover his remains, obviously. I've never seen anything like this. It's just, you know, everyone always talks about nature and animals and protection and all this. It's all bullshit, you know. As soon as something happens, dead. Kill the animal instantly. It's no consideration. If I ever get eaten by a crocodile, God forbid, just leave it. Just leave it. It's alright. I'll be its calories for the next, you know, 15 months or whatever. Guinness World Records. Happy birthday to the cis. It's like, not the word cis. It's like, that's their name. I'm going to say it wrong. Non-nuplets. Non-nuplets. That's referring to 9, I'm pretty sure. On the 4th of May, 2021, 9 children were born to Halima Sis in Mali in the Ain Borja Clinic in Casablanca, Morocco. This is the first known incidence of non-tuplets surviving. This is nuts. Look. They have a whole classroom to themselves. I mean, at this point, you can understand it. They're looking so well. I don't know. They don't even look that stunted. Usually, like, if you have multiples, they get smaller and smaller each. That's insane. How do you even ovulate that many eggs? How do they even implant? How do they not die? That's absolutely nuts. I actually didn't know about this. Oh my goodness. Look at her. An actual superwoman. They all look really the same, don't they? It was a natural conception. Oh my goodness. No IVF. Earlier scans in Mali showed 7 babies. Doctors later found 9. Due to extreme risk, Mali's government flew her there at 25 weeks for specialist care. Can you imagine how big she would have been? Oh. The team extended the pregnancy to 30 weeks. It's actually extremely impressive. Before delivering all 9 via C-section. Each baby weighed 500 grams to 1 kilogram. Tiny and very premature. Wow. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Nuts. Let's have a look. What's next? Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. I'm just going to check it's not community noted. Oh. It's community noted. I'm glad I checked. I was like, before I read this, I'm just going to double check. Community note. Thank you. Apparently that was an AI generated video. You gotta be so careful out there. No community note on this one. I can show you this one. A desk designed by Hong Kong architecture firm. Endlessly from a cat's perspective where people and cats coexist is soothing. That's so, okay, it's weird translation, but look at this cat table. It's a cat table with like cat tunnels in it and cat like niches for them to sit in. Oh, that is so cute. I just thought that was the best idea ever, and I wish they had that for children. I want like a children's version of that. Like, it's very frustrating when you have young children that you try to find a table, like coffee table or something, and it's got like sharp edges. You're like, okay, I can't have everything with really sharp edges. Like, it's just an injury risk. Why would I want that? Or like those glass tables, you know, it's like something underneath and then like it's holding up like a glass top. You think, what's the chance that someone's just gonna like smash it? Or even it's like thin enough that you wouldn't really want a kid like running full force into it or something like that. Yeah, I would love like this interactive play table, like with little little drawers and little places to put little trinkets and things. That would be cute for a kid, or like maybe with a little dent for the kid to like sit on. Yeah, that would be so cute. Why does no one do that? Maybe I'll do that one day. Maybe I'll spend like a year of my life just doing that and make like one table. Brazil. A plane has crashed into a building in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. What's going on? There's like two disturbing
Gibas mostrando para você ao vivo na tela da Globo essas imagens que você está acompanhando aí neste momento. Olha só, impressionante. Sérgio, Manuel e você que está em casa, Globocop com cenas exclusivas mostrando para você.
The building's almost completely intact. Wow. It kind of like went smack.
Ao vivo na tela da Globo.
Okay, it's a very small plane to be fair. To be fair, there is a bigger one. There's a more scary one coming though. Wait. I guess it just happens sporadically, and sometimes it just feels like it clusters and there's just a few plane crashes at once and you think, what's going on? The Hormuz letter says the Fujairah port is burning after multiple Iranian strikes hit the only remaining UAE oil export outlet and endpoint of the pipeline UAE built to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. So they built an extra pipeline to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. That didn't take long. I wonder if that's true or if it was already there. So that's on fire. That's burning. Here's a picture. Can't see much, can we? Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, the strait was free and open for transit prior to the illegal US and Israel assault on Iran. Yeah. I'm noticing the comments, a lot of erroneous takes on this event. This is bad for America, bad for the world. The consequences of last month won't be felt until next month. Expect gas prices to go as high as $5 or $6 US a gallon as a national average. So yeah, everyone's upset, obviously, about more impact of this war. And apparently they had warned about it. And yeah. Does that mean the ceasefire is over? I haven't heard much from this war, except apart from just recently now, so... anyway, I'll have to watch one of those amazing war commentaries. There's a good one in German, but you can watch it like on YouTube as it's translated. I might watch it later today. Germany, at least 2 dead and about 20 injured after car plowed into pedestrian area in Leipzig. I feel like this is déjà vu. Like, you just read this like every other month this happens. The driver, a 31-year-old man of Afghan origin, had been arrested. The terrorist motive is the leading line of inquiry. Like, give me something new. This is almost getting boring. Does anyone ever get sick of this? Is this going to be like the serial killers where it's really popular and it's really cool? Like, in their community, that's cool and like aspirational. Like, yeah, I know something cool. I'm going to get a car and plow into pedestrians. Like, it's lame. It obviously is horrific. Oh, people are saying it's a German, not of Afghan origin. The motive is unknown and the terrorist motive is not confirmed as equivalent, according to authorities. But sometimes when they say it's not an Afghan, it's a German, it's like someone of Afghan descent who's German. No, other people are saying it's Afghan. Cannot comment. Oh, he's looking, there's a photo of him and he's looking very white. Like, as white as me. Okay. Apparently he's a 33-year-old man of German nationality. The man was placed on his vehicle. I don't know why. I hope he has like a... manifesto or something like that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Switcheroo. Because I know that is something that you occasionally get these more Middle Eastern descended guys who do it. And some of them are, yeah, the one guy was just, he had really unusual beliefs. a bunch of really unusual beliefs. So it's just sometimes it's just an odd thing, isn't it? We'll have to update when we find out why that happened. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that beavers are xenophobic and hunting migrants. I'm joking, of course. In a sudden pivot, the once docile American beaver population appears to be taking matters into their own hands. In polling, clean rivers consistently emerge as a top concern for beavers. Accordingly, they are hardline migration restrictionists. Here's the video of this beaver.
He's getting attacked by a fucking beaver. Yo!
Is the beaver like bitten him in the bum, essentially?
Look at this shit.
Oh, it's like blood. Is that blood? It could be a red t-shirt or it could be blood on the side of him. This beaver's just going off and stumbling in the mud. This is pretty funny.
My fucking god. Holy shit.
He like grabs the beaver and flings it into and the yappy dog is completely useless.
Holy shit. Yo, this thing's coming over here. Yo, it's fucking attacking people.
Beavers are cool. They must be pretty smart. They have all these underground burrow things. You can see it like went down and went into to some hideout it has down there. Amazing. Such cool animals. Oh, I think this is the next plane crash. Yes. Baltimore bakery truck struck by a United Airlines plane coming in for a landing at New Park Liberty International Airport in New Jersey. It was a United Airline Boeing 767-400. The guy actually didn't die, so we're not watching like something too horrific. It's scary, but he survived it. So he's like, wait a second, what? Oh, you can hear it. Bam! That looked like such a hard impact. I'm so surprised this guy's not dead.
Holy fuck.
Oh my goodness.
That thing hit that. Look, you see all that wind?
Oh my goodness.
So the wing must have like clipped the truck or something like that. But that you could hear the speed of that thing just coming into him. Wow. Siko Billam says poor men tend to find large-breasted women more attractive because large breasts contain a dense fat reserve and they serve as a reliable indicator of access to food. That's the theory. All you really know is what people find more attractive. You can study that, but like, why? Yeah. So here's the pictures of what they tested the men on. These are these really poorly generated. I guess maybe it's vague on purpose. Maybe the lines are kind of blurred on purpose to not have any other features really stand out at all. So you start with like a basically almost no breasts. Then you have like small breasts, medium, large breasts, and much larger. But see, the girl doesn't actually change her shape at all, which I guess I get what they're getting at. But a girl that slim with very large breasts is very rare, and that's, if you see that shape, it's almost always fake. I wonder what would happen if you just made the whole girl fatter and be like realistic, like stick to natural proportions. Like the slim girl be like with the very small breasts would be quite skinny, like massive thigh gap and like is sort of sticking out elbows and knees and stuff. And then the next one be like kind of exactly what she looks like. And then with the third one, add like a bit more thigh fat. But I feel like those things usually correlate. But anyway, for the sake of just knowing something. Results showed that men from low socioeconomic contexts rated larger breasts as more attractive than did men from medium socioeconomic contexts, who in turn perceived larger breasts as attractive. I'm not misreading this. This is what it says. I think they left out a word, more attractive than men from higher socioeconomic contexts. And then there's a second study which compared breast size judgments of 66 hungry versus 58 satiated men with the same environmental context in Britain. Results showed that hungry men rated large breasts as significantly more attractive than satiated men. That's kind of disturbing, isn't it? You're hungry, so you want to be around bigger breasts. Like, are you a baby? Have you weaned? Like, are you okay? Taken together, these studies provide evidence that resource security impacts upon men's attractiveness ratings based on women's breast size. Yeah. It's interesting, but I could swear, in my observations, there's kind of... You rarely get a woman with large breasts and a large bum and thighs. It's usually skewed towards one or the other. You do get that, but I'm not talking about like morbidly obese. I'm talking like healthier. But usually you skew towards one side. You either have a heavier backside, like bum and thighs, or you have heavier breasts and often also the arms. And I wonder if it's just sort of a divergent evolutionary path that people have taken, and there's sort of just different groups of people. That would be my explanation. I wouldn't even say that, oh, the whole hungry and yeah, okay, it's all interesting. But I suspect that lower socioeconomic class, it's not just, well, how did you as an individual grow up? Did you go to public school or private school? Did you work at McDonald's, or did you go straight into like a nice corporate job? Yeah, I wouldn't put it like that, but rather it's almost like having it's almost like an ethnicity within what we would consider ethnicity. Because really, there's not much intermarriage between different social classes. And there perhaps used to be more, but it's not much. And really, the inequality in our societies is increasing. So you could make the argument that potentially, perhaps, probably, we are diverging more and more, sort of, let's say, just if you take European-descended Americans, let's say. But Australia, I see the same thing, is you could say there's a divergence, that there's just different ethnicities sort of emerging within that, different subgroups. And I suspect that lower socioeconomic women have a fatter around the top, around the breasts. And I'm not talking about lactating breasts, like it's milk, literal milk in there, but like the much more fat breasts and upper body, and much less thigh and bum fat. And opposite for more middle and upper class women, where they have more thigh and bum fat. And that would correlate with the studies that show thigh and bum fat is important for the neurological development of the child. Remember, we reviewed that, I think, in the previous stream. I'm pretty sure it was a previous stream. That it has something to do with like DHA. The kind of fat that's found in different parts of the body is different, and it helps the brain develop properly. So the brain is made of fat, right? Something like that. So women with more bum and thigh fat will have smarter babies, but I just don't think that applies if you're just morbidly obese all over. I just don't think that really applies. I don't know, but perhaps it does. Perhaps it does. I would love to know, like, do very, very obese women have any advantageous outcomes in their children as compared to underweight women? Like, I would love to know. I would love, but I just don't know that. I just can't tell you. Sorry, I'm snacking. All right. Interesting. What country is this? There's a woman, I think it's South America. This woman claims to be possessed by Shakira. And so she's just like, I'm possessed. And she's singing Shakira songs. See, it's what happens when you have a patriarchal society. She has to appeal to the religious sensibilities and norms in her society to just sing a song. I mean, I can stumble around my house deliriously singing songs without having to claim I'm possessed and be restrained by people. I mean, what kind of society is this? You know? Alexander Dugin, like, please tell me, you know, how come I can walk around my house and sing whatever song that comes to my mind, and you think my society should be eradicated from the face of the earth? You want this? Is this the alternative that you want? Delirious. Oh, I'm possessed. I swear. This is why I'm singing Shakira songs. Like, this is it? This is what you want instead of the West? Are you sure? Seriously. Do they look at that? There's this idealized versions of everything. Do they look around? Do they see what I see? Look at that's real footage of something, not like movies made by ultra like elite, like Western elites that are propaganda movies basically. British police have reached a new low. 30 officers were sent to arrest a mannequin because it hurt Muslim feelings. This is not satire. The police have completely lost the plot. This is always insane. Any video out of the UK is just so sad. As oh, it's gonna be so loud. As someone of Anglo descent, it's just so sad. It's just really. Here's the mannequin. Oh, they even ripped her arm out. What is this? Like, just the violence, the institutionalized, misogynist violence. You know, as soon as even just a piece of plastic has the shape of a woman, it's not even a woman. You gotta understand. In our minds, we're like, oh, it's a woman. It's got like the shape of a woman with hair and a dress. It's just plastic. But even the plastic is attacked, dismembered. I mean, they made her hair a mess. I'm offended about it. It's awful.
Excuse me!
30 UK cops just arrested a mannequin because it hurt Muslim feelings? This is the clown world Britain has become. Plastic dolls are now a threat to Islam, but grooming gangs got a free pass for years. Wake up, Britain. You're being replaced.
Like, can't they get her like a custom-made burqa that fits like ultra skinny mannequins? I don't know. I mean, what's offensive? I just want to know, like, I would like to, you know, I'm all for them having their thoughts and feelings, and I would love to know. What's offensive? Is it because she's skinny? Is it because she's not wearing a burqa? Is it because she's got blonde hair? Like, is it a racial thing? I guess we won't know. I guess we don't know. Probably a combination of those things. Spirit Airlines, which I didn't know existed. I had no idea. There was a thing called Spirit Airlines. And,
Go suck another dirty dick.
Spirit Airlines, like, that at least you can book an adventure. I mean, your suitcase is just thrown deliberately. Oh, probably the ramp doesn't work, but it's like deliberately thrown off the ramp straight onto the ground. It's like a 3-meter drop. Everyone's just bashing each other, like, I kind of want to fly that.
Get out of here, you dirty bitch. Yes, you are.
What is she drinking? Is that a cleaning product? I wonder why they had to stop flying planes and shut down their whole business. I wonder why. Yeah. It was a good idea. This is just ridiculous. There's so many videos of just Indian people dying in the most bizarre and horrendous ways. And I'm worried that I'm becoming desensitized to the horrific death of Indians. That's not my intent. It's the algorithm. The algorithm is trying to induce a lack of emotion towards Indian death in me. I don't know. Make it make sense. Indians had a gay pride parade. That's the most wholesome gay pride parade I've ever seen. Everyone shits on Indians and hates them so much, but that is kind of wholesome. Look, they even got motorbikes. Is that because motorbike gangs, aren't they like the origin of gay culture? Like motorbike gangs led to gay culture? I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere and it was very convincing. Bam! Electrocuted. Lightning bolt. I don't know what that was. It was a malfunction of the machine, obviously, but it does look like it was, you know, looks like it could have been the man up top. I don't know. Almost looks fake, doesn't it? It's bizarre. Why is their rainbow flags got different colours? I don't recognise it. Maybe they have different sexualities over there. They probably do. They have different deities as well. They have like a lot of gods with a lot of arms. Perhaps that requires an addition of extra letters to the LGTB. Maybe they have like their own Indian version of that. Kind of like they have their whole separate religion. That would be interesting. This is it. This is all I've got. This is great. Actually, usually by the end of stream, I'm like stumbling through my words and I'm like nodding off and trying not to fall asleep. I had this gluten-free beer, which was great, but I'm not tired at all. That was great. I'm so happy. That went really well. I hate slurring my words and being like, all right, oh yeah, what is this? I've forgotten what this was. Yeah, I actually got through that pretty well. Happy about that. And how long was the stream? I'll have to check later. That was amazing. Well, I hope, I should really do a little, what I need to do is have like a little thing where I kind of low-key hate this, but it's like and subscribe. You know, that stuff that you hear on YouTube all the time. It's like and subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow me. Follow me on this and follow me on that. But actually do. Because I'm kind of sporadic. I'm a mom. I've got children. Sometimes my children are like vomiting on me. Sometimes I'm like just up at night and things like that. And so I will update when I stream. So before I stream, I will update. I try to do it a few hours before. Realistically, I'm doing it like an hour before because that's the time when I actually know I'm feeling okay. The kids are actually settled in bed. I know I can stream, and that's sort of when I usually update. So do follow me. On Telegram is really good. On X is really good too, although I'm not very active because I just can't do it. Not yet. I will get into it. And if you have any things you want me to talk about, if you have any I don't know, if you want any questions answered, or you have specific content you want me to cover, you want me to talk about a specific topic, I can always just say no. But I might say yes. I'll probably say yes. So if you have any personal stories, inquiries, you want advice about something, just send it on through. Or wait till the show's live and then put it in the chat. If you send me something via like email or something like that, not that I check it, I really should check it, but I'm not going to reveal your identity, anything like that. Don't send me threats. Don't do anything illegal. But what I'm saying is, send me something and I'll talk about it. This is meant to be an interactive show. We are absolutely not there yet. We are like just getting started and it's very sporadic. But yeah, I should really put ask me anything. Ask me anything should really be in the title of each show. Come, talk to me, ask me anything, tell me your opinions. And yeah, that's the whole point of streaming. Although for me, there are other reasons I stream. So if I was gonna record this and then edit, I think I'd go insane. I think I'd spend a lot of extra time that I just don't have. I just can't. I have to sleep and then I have to look after my children all day long, and I just don't have an extra 2 hours to I could edit this and make it like much shorter, right? I could make it like into like 20 minutes probably, if I just edit every ums and ahs out and things like that. But where's the time? And streaming is like a way for me to just create content and feel like and also just talk about stuff. And then my friends and family can also watch this. So I feel like I'm also connecting to people that maybe I just don't always have time to talk to extensively. Like, even when I have family come over to my house, they have got like children in their face. Like, and then there's like snacks, and then there's like snacks on the floor, and then we're like tripping on the snacks, and then we're like cleaning the snack. You know, there are times, especially with my mother, when she comes in, I don't speak to her. Except for, what did they eat? Did you feed them? What did we give them? Where's that other child? Is that child okay? Is she wet? Do I need to change her clothes? This and that, and that's all, and there's no actual, like, and so I call people. And that's the only way I really get adult conversation in. And that's just a stage of life, and that would be totally different. And my older children are getting to an age where I can start to have conversations about just a variety of topics. And it's really, really, really fun. I love that. But it's sort of just only starting. And I don't know where it's going to go. You just never know. Like, some people just have completely different interests. What are their interests going to be? Well, one of my children will be like, I'll be like, oh, you know, there's this thing, like, oh, there's like a wedding custom, and it's like this thing, and my child will be like, I know. Well, how do you know? You're little, like, you've never seen that. Oh, I like read it in a book, and it's this book, and that's what it said, and then my child will remember all the details and just know so many little cultural things, and like, not so much even historical, more like cultural. Really fun. And it's great. And I feel like sometimes I get educated. I get educated by my kids, which is great. I can't wait. Can't wait for them to get older. It's great. Good night, everyone.